Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem.
The horses are now nearing the starting gate.
And they're off.
As the field comes into the stretch.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aqueduct. Snow yesterday, sunshine today. And the temperature will be around 30 degrees here in South Ozone Park, Queens. The main track is fast, and right now we'll take a look at the changes for today's 8-race card. In the first race, note that number 4, 3-2 Zone, runs with blinkers on. Blinkers on the 4, and scratch number 7 runs SMITTY Run. Scratch the 7. In today's second race, there'll be no show, trifecta, or superfecta. Scratch 1, ZAEVION, and 2, Laddie Liam. In the second, scratch 1 and 2. The third race is the Ruthless Stakes. Scratch 3, It Can, and 4, Little Huntress. Scratch 3 and 4, and please note there'll be no place, show, exacta, trifecta, or superfecta wagering. There will be win, double, pick 3, and Empire 6 wagering on today's third. In the fourth race, scratch number 3, Firing Carol. Scratch the 3 and a jockey change on the 2, Crystal Orb, to Benjamin Hernandez. Benji Hernandez rides the 2, Crystal Orb. No changes to report in races 5, 6, or 7. Moving to the finale, race 8, scratch 1, Tanya's Gem, part of an entry, and scratch 4, ZECHA. Scratch 1 and 4, a rider change on the 1A, Dragoness, to Benjamin Hernandez. Benji Hernandez on the 1A, Dragoness, in race 8. The main track is fast. We'll be back at 12:50 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 1:20. Up next, a rare Monday edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
I had to think about it for a second. But good afternoon.
There you
and
go.
Welcome to Talking Horses. Well, you know.
I'm glad you admit. I'm glad you have some culpability
it's
for it.
Monday.
Andy. I appreciate it.
We don't really expect to be on
Can't
here
trust
on Monday.
that day,
My clock
Andy.
is really, you know.
That one I do know. That song I do know. Monday,
What?
Monday.
I like that song. It's a
Love
good
that
song. Oh, you do know. What didn't you know the other day?
Took some abuse on
I deserve
Twitter.
an abuse.
I guess so, man.
Greg had never heard of this Dear Mr. Fantasy either. What's wrong with you people?
Wolfie?
Yeah.
I'm in good company then.
Yeah, I was kind of stunned. A couple people tweeted to me and said,
We're about the same age, too.
Greg
so,
not
yeah.
have?
Greg and I are about the same age.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse, as you well know. Anyway, welcome to Talking Horses. He's
Hi,
Anthony
everyone.
Stabile. I'm Andy Serling. It is a chilly Monday here in New York, but of course we had to cancel yesterday for the snow.
Well, that was a good decision,
scenes.
by the way, because it came down here from noon to 2:30, like the ground owed the snow
I
money.
went outside
It was coming after
for
it,
some
man.
food around 11, shortly after I woke up, and it was about 10:30, and it was snowing pretty hard actually.
Mom and I ran out early, like 8 o'clock.
Ran?
You know,
I could see Phyllis running.
my
You,
Hyundai. Phyllis is
Phyllis
fit
could
as a
move.
fiddle.
You, on the other hand.
Now we went to get some stuff. It was just me, her, and Pete yesterday. Pete cleaned my car off this morning. Thank you, Pete.
Wow.
Had a nice little Super Bowl.
Something going on? Does he need
Not at all.
something?
No.
There's got to be an angle
No,
of
we're
that.
good. Yeah, but it just started coming down, and until like 10:30, 11 o'clock, I was like, this isn't too bad. And then it was almost like the snow herd. And for a good 3.5 hours, probably got like 4 inches by me.
Okay, we've talked about the weather way too much already. Marshall Cassidy, as many of you may know, of course, the race caller going well back in New York, and a beloved figure here, who I did not know. I mean, I knew him to say hello, but I did not know Marshall. He passed away yesterday, but he was always obviously very nice when I met him, and hard to find a person who didn't have a nice word to say about Marshall.
Whether you met him or not, from 1979 to 1990, he was the racetrack announcer here at the Naira Tracks, and you and I spent plenty of time here together at Aqueduct. I mean, he's the soundtrack of the '80s for any New York racing fan. Johnny I, who Marshall helped a lot. Johnny said in the press story that we had out over at Naira.com, Marshall helped them out a lot, and Marshall interrupted a race call on February 24th, 1980, to let the New York racing fans know that the Miracle on Ice team of the '80 Olympics actually beat Finland for the gold medal. And
Would you have known it was Finland if I hadn't told you? I just wanted to.
It was because Johnny I told me.
Okay.
So, but no,
That's
I
a good trivia
swung
question,
at
by the
Sweden
way.
and
Most
Norway.
would think it was beating Russia.
No, that was the round of 4. I guess Sweden and Norway.
I was a senior in high school then, and I remember a lot of my friends went to those games.
And of course, for me, for a 12-year-old New York racing fan, he said the greatest words ever on June 4th, 1989, right around the 16th pole at beautiful Belmont Park. New York's easy goer.
You weren't even there.
In front. I was not. It's one of the only Belmont stakes I ever missed. We were flooded out. But I remember watching that race in the New York City OTB on the corner of Liberty and Cross Bay Boulevard, Liberty Avenue, Cross Bay Boulevard, about a mile from here. And we had the Naira feed. We did not have Wide World of Sports on in the OTB. We had the Naira feed.
Not in '89, you didn't.
I watched that. Right. I think they would let you show the race, but I heard Marshall. Maybe they showed ABC.
The first New York City OTB in the disc boroughs, I believe, that showed races was John Street in 1983. Oh, that was 1989. Oh, yeah. You had I'm thinking 79, 83.
No,
oh, yeah, I'm sure you're right. Yeah, 84.
I heard Marshall. They
84.
also could have put ABC
I'm sure
on
they
and
had
whatever they
I'm
did.
sure if they had cable. I lived in Brooklyn in the mid-'80s, and we didn't have cable in Brooklyn.
But I heard
there was no cable then. But
we didn't have cable in Queens.
I was a frequenter of the Sackett Street OTB, which I'm sure some of the people watching will remember, on the corner of Sackett and Court, which was, I lived in Sackett, down by the BQE, a few blocks down, but that was a great OTB.
And then Marshall stayed on and worked behind the scenes. He was a placing judge.
Saw him, he was a frequent in Saratoga.
Always in
Saw him in
Saratoga.
Saratoga.
Right.
Lived in Schuylerville, I want to say.
I believe so.
Yeah. Anyway.
Nice man. Very nice man.
Yep. Absolutely, and sorry to hear of his passing yesterday, but a lot of people have come out and said a lot of nice things.
A lot of nice things.
Nothing more you can want in life than to have people with complimentary things. And we, of course, our condolences to his family and friends. Race number 1 today as we move on.
Well, first we got to tell them about Naira Bets.
We do. I don't know if you've heard the news, but there's this thing called Naira Bets.
Even on Monday.
And you go to nairabets.com 7 days a week, 24/7. You can sign up, use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match with $200 your initial deposit. And hopefully your first bet does better than run third, like the former did.
Wow.
And, well, isn't that when
He
we
won the
started using
Hooper,
that?
Andy.
Oh, yeah. Very disappointed.
You don't use a lot of, I bet you don't use 24/7 a lot, right? That's not it.
Why would I? Do you use it a lot? Is it frequently in your conversation?
I wouldn't say frequently, but I probably use it more than you do.
Yeah, well, that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
You know, you lean on those
I'm
kinds of
happening.
things.
You know, I'm there.
You're nothing if not happening. Race number 1 will be happening in about 75 minutes.
There you go.
And I guess, you know, it's funny. I think a lot of us thought nepotism might scratch.
I'm sorry. I'm a
because
little surprised.
He had the look of a horse that he ran now 8 days ago, not 7 days ago. Be careful with that. And he looked like he might have been making the race go for Willie Sutton. Willie Sutton, a bank?
I didn't look it up, but yeah, I
Look that
believe
up.
he's like a, he was like an outlaw.
Yeah,
Right? An outlaw.
But there's like a
That's good
story.
word.
Was it like, I was thinking of D.B. Cooper. Was it a similar thing to
D.B.
D.B.
Cooper.
Cooper?
D.B. Cooper.
They found him yet?
I don't think so. He jumped out of an airplane with the money, right?
Yeah.
He's part of a kid. He's part of Ball at the Bar.
You think
Kid
he
Rock
made it?
got him
See,
into
I
the
don't think
lyrics
he
of
made it.
Ball
I
at
don't
the
think he
Bar.
made it.
You don't think he made it?
No.
I don't know. Yeah, but Willie
It's
Sutton.
not, oh, it's Willie Sutton. He was an American robber. I'm looking it up now.
Beautiful.
Picture of him with a fedora. His 40-year robbery career, he stole an estimated $2 million. This was going well back. He was born in Brooklyn. He died in Florida.
Some of the best outlaws have been born in Brooklyn, Andy.
A lot of them from Brooklyn to Florida. It's so anyhow, $1 million. I don't know. I read that he has no speed. Dave Brennig wrote he doesn't have any speed, so I expect him to wire the
Saw
field.
that.
In trader speak, that means he's a bullet.
Well, they unveiled, the Connections unveiled Nicky DeVest.
He's running this weekend in the Damon Runyon. I love the Damon Runyon. I
Sure.
love that race name for him.
So, and that was early December 10th, if I'm not mistaken.
December 18th, last race,
December 18th, okay. So
You are
December
mistaken.
18th,
since you asked.
I was going off the second horse. So you're
Whatever.
right, yeah.
He ran December 10th? Or he finished on December 19th, or what?
So
What does
no,
that
the
mean?
Dutrow horse ran on the 10th. My head was there, not with the second time out. The horse, anyway. Yeah, so Nicky DeVest had plenty of speed, went to the lead from the rail, and now this
That horse
horse
ran November 29th.
Well, not that Dutrow horse. The Dutrow horse that was second to Nicky DeVest. And now, yeah, no. So Nicky DeVest had speed. This horse doesn't have speed. This one debuts at 7.
We've heard he doesn't have speed. I don't believe everything I read,
Okay.
even from Dave Brennig.
That's fair enough.
He's just repeating what the trainer said, by the way. Dave didn't say he had no speed.
Well,
We'll see.
I don't
I mean,
think Jonathan
nepotism
Thomas
was-
has any reason to
No, all
deceive us.
no, there's all trainers have at one time in their life told a fib. It's
Yeah,
part
but
of their
but
test.
you know what? I don't
it's
think
part of
they-
your trainer's exam. If you can't tell a fib, I'm joking around.
I don't
but
think they like to do it publicly.
I doubt they do. I'm just joking, Anthony.
No, trainers fib.
I'm just laughing.
I lived with one for
because-
many years. Trainers
because this
fib.
is out. There are those situations when you've heard those stories, and you know he's a bullet, and he can't get out of his own way early. Nepotism's okay of his race 2 back. He was atrocious last time. I mean, just awful in that race. He's better than that. I think he's dangerous.
Okay.
I do. He's not as bad as his last race. I mean, look what Overtook came out of that
He
race
was
and
dull.
ran well.
He was dull last time.
He was bad.
I wonder, and again, you'll say I look into too much. They took the blinkers off him last time, and he just looked disinterested.
They didn't put him back on today.
I know, well, like we said too. I mean, he's coming back in a week. I think you and I were on the same 8 days. I think you and I were on the same page. This horse was put in this race to make the race go for Willie Sutton, but obviously we were wrong.
Well, no.
It's the first time for everything.
He could have wanted to be in there to make sure the race goes, but maybe he wants to go shorter with him anyway, and he's thinking, you know what? I don't know the next time a 7-furlong race going to go for this horse. And I kind of want to run him 7. I don't want to run him a mile. I don't want to run a mile and 8. So maybe his thinking is this race came up and I better get while the getting's good. And by the way, Willie Sutton, I just got this from my friend Jerry. He robbed banks, he said, because that's where the money is.
Okay, it was him. All right,
Yes, that
that's
was him.
Well, I'll tell you what, he should be on the leading here, shouldn't he?
Well, you know, with the 7 out, yeah, maybe the 4 has some speed, but yeah, with the 7 out, you're right. With Jorge Vargas, yes, I agree with you. I agree, and I think Jorge will be aggressive with him.
Yeah.
Atlantic Road, you know, there's a temptation to want to pick him. I watched his debut. He didn't take much money, and he was awful. I mean, I'm not saying he's not going to run better, and I get the purses are better up here, and that's why Todd's shipping him, but he was terrible last time.
He looked, and he was one of these horses where Johnny was riding him the entire way.
Yep.
Johnny was on his belly the entire way, trying to get this horse motivated. You know, the way he ran, I would think going long on the turf is in his future, which is why I'm surprised he's up here for this.
Well, they did put blinkers on him.
Yeah, so
and
maybe...
they're really shipping him up all the way up here and doing this for a horse that they think can't run at all, so he probably will run much better.
You know, maybe Johnny came back and said, listen, he didn't like the track, right? The pot's, how much bigger is the pot's? Twice the size, so you know, you try something different. Like I said, he kind of looked like a horse that's going to need a little more ground. Maybe 7's enough, but he also looked to me like maybe, and the pedigree kind of tells you he might look more
I don't know if the 5 is much horse. I'm not sure the 5 didn't just get second last time by default.
Well,
a lot of bandboxes
getting
around,
Lasix,
right?
cutting back. No, he was a nice horse. Me
I
too.
like bandboxes.
He was a fun horse.
Yeah, he was
won
in
at different
standing in
distances.
Maryland.
Yeah.
He raced up here a few times,
He
though.
won. Did he win the Nashua?
Interesting question. Somebody will let us know.
I think he might have won the Nashua.
I think he was in one of those races.
I think I bet him in the Nashua.
When they didn't win. Race number 2 kicks off the early pick 4. Oh, that was so
Walked right into that, man. That was terrible. It's
Jump,
Monday. It's
you
Monday.
Like
It's a
dove
Monday.
Into it. That
That's
was
Monday.
like the pool of stupidity. You dove into the pool of
Monday,
stupidity.
yeah.
Race number 2. There were quite a few scratches in this race. So you end up with the number 6 home run maker on top.
Yeah.
You scratched out of the 1. You like the 1.
I like ZAEVION, just hopefully.
He was the horse to beat.
Yeah, he was the horse to beat.
In a little bit more realistic spot than where you picked him last time.
Yeah, and he didn't run that bad last time.
No, he didn't run terribly. He ran the race he figured to run. He just wasn't good enough.
He was cutting back. Well, yeah, I mean, I landed on home run maker. He wasn't going to make up any ground the day when Reed Cannon was able to just walk the dog on the front end.
Well, but he was right on top of the pace.
Yeah.
Not as though he was compromised by the race dynamic.
Fresh gelding now. See if that helps.
Quit gelding 23 days. Is that on? Where is that on the Stabile chart of gelding?
I'm not.
You found the first time you were gelded.
6, 7 months ago. 6, 7 months ago, I wouldn't have done this. But I'll tell you what. At Gulfstream Park, they run them back in 10 days and they win.
Wait a minute.
They win.
That's according to Gulfstream when they were gelded. I mean, Florida is habitually the worst state of reporting geldings of any state ever.
According to this, and some
yeah,
of
but
the
I don't
other
buy that
information
stuff.
Oh no, okay.
I don't believe anything that comes out of Florida resulting in geldings. That's the reason I don't like that thing. I don't want to go into my long argument. The Florida information was bad going back 40 years when I used to keep the information. We were always good in Iowa. California and New York have always been great about gelding.
California's always been great. Yep.
California led the country.
Led the country.
They were good, but we were good. If you kept your programs here, you'd see the Colton. If you went every day, like some of us were known to, you would know the changes as well, and you could use the programs. And you knew to look. If a horse had been out a month or so, you came to look. But horses coming from Florida, they were constantly being announced as geldings, and they were already been gelded constantly. So I don't trust anything down there.
This horse was gelded according to the DRF 3 days after his last race. So that's right around.
You didn't have your nightly chat with Rudy?
Oh, here we go. No, I didn't. I wound up on this horse second. I thought
this you could have asked
him. Nah, I don't bother people.
I know you don't. I am just.
I really don't bother people about it. I try not to anyway.
That's why I was laughing the other day because I.
And when I bothered them, they got left in the gate. So
well, when you bothered one of them the other day, the horse couldn't run and
stood right in the gate.
Right, the horse. That wouldn't have mattered if he got out of the gate. Right. She can't run. But the funniest thing was he called the guy and the guy abused him.
Yeah,
Chad Brown.
I got abused. I called
Chad. I was joking about it, and he said, Anthony never calls me. He said he never calls me about horses. He said, call me for a horse, so I just abused him.
Not here. Not here. Not for the show.
Yeah, no.
The gate opened. The horse just said.
You could have ostensibly said you called him to say hi. You hadn't talked to him.
I did.
Yeah, that was very nice.
Caught up with Jerry and Patty. Yeah, I did.
Explain to him what my mother's name is.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I like the 5 Clench. We'll look at Clench's last race. I think Clench ran very, very well last time. You look at this race.
Woke up last time.
This race fell apart, and he was right on top of the pace. And I thought he ran extremely well in here. Now, listen, there was moisture last time, and he's been claimed out of that race from Rob Atras. Antonio Arriaga does a good job. He's going to be a heavy favorite with the scratches here. It's him and Home Run Maker. I see a lot of people like Runaway Loot.
Kind of had enough, right? Enough waiting for him to come back around.
I just feel like he went through the ringer, and maybe Canamasi can revitalize him, and he's certainly a very good trainer. But I don't know. He seems like a project I wouldn't want to take on. Laddie Liam. The interesting thing about Laddie Liam, and I hadn't noticed this, but David Aragona pointed out to me, this horse was bought for $450,000 after his last race.
After the race.
Yeah, I hadn't noticed that at first. No, he's not running. Race number 3, the Ruthless. Well, we ran it, but 3 of the 5 came.
And I think you would argue that the right 3 are here.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree, and I'm looking forward to seeing Miss Brazil. The thing about the game is, Anthony and I are gigantic fans of racing, as I'm sure many of you are. And as we take a look at Miss Brazil's, her maiden win, her first only dirt race where she drowned Dealing Justice, who came back to win and win with a nice figure, we want to see good horses. And I know Carmel Swirl lost her next race. I'm not sure why they stretched her out. I'm not really sure she's a horse who wants to go long. She did run second. She's still a good horse. I mean, this was a fast race. And I've been looking forward to seeing this horse come back, and I'm very happy for Tony Dutrow. He's got a good one in his barn, and I'd love to see this filly do really well for Tony.
I think people also get, people sometimes will get enamored with margins of victory. Right? She only beat up by 2.5 lengths, but she buried Carmel Swirl last time.
Carmel Swirl's a good horse.
Carmel Swirl's a nice horse. Like you, I agree. I don't think she has any distance races in her future.
Right. Get her back to 7.
She buried her last time. I know it's only 2.5 lengths, but they could still be going around there, and she's not going by her.
Now, Dealing Justice did take a step forward in her next race.
She did.
To be fair. And
she did.
Maybe she can make up the gap. It's a big gap to make up.
It's a very big gap to make up.
I'm actually interested in Gulf Coast. I like that Rodolfo Brissett skipped the race to Suncoast to ship her up for this race going 7. And maybe in a 3-horse field, it doesn't help her as much, and with the 4 coming out, but the 2's got to be there a little bit. I'm interested to see what this filly does. I think she's okay. It's a good year for 3-year-old fillies.
Don't disagree with that. Here she is winning the Cash Run last time out down.
Tell me about who Cash Run was.
At Gulfstream Park. Cash Run was the Padua horse.
Did she upset the Breeders' Cup juvenile fillies at Gulfstream?
$135, right?
Did she beat a good Wayne Lucas? No, she was Wayne.
She was Wayne.
Who'd she beat? She must have beaten, not Shug, no.
She beat one of those California fillies.
Wasn't she a California filly? Padua mostly in California? God, it's killing me. It was 90, I think it was 99. I think it was the last.
So it was Gulfstream.
Well,
right?
They were there at 89, 92, and 99. I was in all 3 of them. I think it was the last one.
It was definitely, it was 99. It was 99. So who would she have beaten in 90? Who would she have beaten in 99?
No, who were the good horses in 2000?
That was Fupeg won the Derby, so who won the Oaks that year? Wow.
Yeah, I'm drawing. She beat a very, very, very big favorite, like a
3 to 5 shot,
or less.
You think it was less?
Yeah,
that's why she paid as much as she did.
Huge favorite.
There was like 5 of them within a length and a half of each other on the line, right?
I don't think so. No, I think that she and the second horse
were different races. Am I having a different race?
She beat Chaluki. That's who she beat. She beat Bob Baffert. I should have thought of Baffert. Thank you, David. Yeah. No, Chaluki. Chaluki still has one of the all-time fastest Beyer debut figures. I think Chaluki ran like a 110 Beyer or something.
I thought I saw the picket fence.
Yeah, maybe
111 or something.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, she was a monster.
This filly, I'll tell you what, this filly ran last time. I'm looking forward to seeing her come back. She's not going to be much price today, but
Aaron Yagoda got a little late. He was second. Don't, Aaron, you were beat. Accept your defeat. But I still appreciate that.
But it'll be fun. Listen, Dealing Justice, if she steps up, and even
someone will tell us on Twitter tomorrow. It was Chaluki.
Yeah. Rudy's filly, we'll see what she does coming up.
Yep, looking forward to the race. I understand it's 3 horses, but I am looking forward to seeing Miss Brazil particularly run. I think she could be a particularly good one. Race number 4, there isn't much to say. We'll take a look at the Dealing Justice race. You can see Dealing Justice win, and O'Gotten Girl and Mo Desserts. I like Mo Desserts. Well, yes, you do. That wasn't easy.
Skipped dessert last night. How about that? That happened.
What happened? You couldn't untie the
It was full. That's the first time for everything, I guess.
Reminds me of my favorite Charles Barkley line. See that line?
No.
Oliver Miller, the big guy who used to play for the Suns, very good player. Charles Barkley said that he was 2 words away from being in the Hall of Fame. I'm full. I mean, the common prevailing feeling is that Mo Desserts had 1 start and is probably more likely to be a miler than No-Gotten Girl. I know David's got him 4 to 5 and 6 to 5. I think it'll be reversed.
It likely will be. One Filly's had 5 starts.
I don't want David's job. I couldn't do it nearly as well as him.
One Filly has 5 starts, and now she has to go
That's what I'm
an extra quarter of a mile. The other Filly looked like, and pedigree-wise.
Pedigree-wise?
Yeah. With I did that for you.
From a pedigree standpoint.
Nyquist and Dynaformer on the bottom. You'd
pedigree.
have to think she's going to want the mile a little bit more than No-Gotten Girl. I mean, there's really not much else to say about the rest of them, is there?
There is not. Francisco, we're going to take a break. Are you good with that? Take a break now, midway through the card. We'll be back with the late pick 4. Just a moment.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. We missed you. I don't know if you missed us, but
Big time.
we missed you. We were engaged in an extensive conversation about Chaluki. Love bringing up those horses. I have to go on YouTube and see if I can find some of her races.
Churchill has a 1 mile race named after her in the fall for the 2-year-olds.
That's right. Right around the Breeders' Cup time.
2-year-olds, right?
3-year-olds.
3-year-olds.
No.
3-year-olds.
Olders. 3 and up.
Is it the oldest?
I believe
they ran a Breeders' Cup weekend.
I want to say the year that Rachel had that devastating win over 2 rivals in the Mother Goose, the Prayer Horse. Was it Mark Hennig?
Mark Hennig, the Ned Evans horse.
Yeah, Ned Evans. I think she won it that year.
Oh, you might be right.
I think she won it that year.
Rachel's full sister ran yesterday.
I know. And let me tell you, Rachel's still not telling on the turf. Oh, was it off the turf?
No, it was on the turf. That was one of the 2 races they kept on the turf yesterday. She ran second to Jouster.
You know, Jouster's a little disappointing yesterday. Looked so good first time out. Kind of running out of gas.
Turf was wet
race.
yesterday.
I know.
She went fast. She went fast on a wet turf.
I don't believe the time's there, and I don't believe the course condition. But they were chopping it up pretty good, though, weren't they?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
I got to see my favorite horse win the last, though.
She went anywhere near as fast as this. Yeah, I know.
I love that horse.
Good old Abiding Star.
I was thinking Abiding Star, 16,000.
We should have won partners.
I love that horse.
You could have put up 15.5.
I love that horse. He's such a cool horse.
But yeah, Gladys. Yeah, do a little bit better, right? Gladys?
Rachel, Gladys.
Rachel Alexandra, Samantha Nicole, Gladys.
I like Archie.
Me too.
Maggie's out today, by the way. You're stuck with me all day. Just letting you know. Race number 5, but it's a special Monday card. I mean, normally you'd be sitting around with nothing to do.
What
and
a
look
day.
at what you've got now.
Day.
Look at the entertainment you're getting.
Canceled
out
parks,
of nowhere.
too, because of the weather. It's
They've canceled parks
freezing
because they
down
couldn't
here.
compete with you and I.
Oh, duh.
Race number 6, or 5.
Number 5.
Veradia, Violent Trick, and Mongolian Humor. They renew their rivalry.
Hello, old friends.
Today. I tell you what, Veradia, they knew. Who did they know?
And somebody must have whispered in her ear because she ran like she kept on going here, right? She's fighting on here. We don't really see this out of Veradia. Veradia wins more often than not. She wins by a substantial margin, and here she's only gonna win by 3 parts of a length, and she was game.
Mongolian Humor's going to run better today. I thought about picking her. Picked her last time.
Okay.
I just think she's going to run better. A little bit of a freshening last time. Last time was time for Veradia. I don't like the Violent Trick didn't win last time. She's kind of supposed to have won that race. She could win today, though. I don't know. Doesn't seem like a track condition mattered. You and I both went to a different direction. We'll take a look at excess capacity. 2 back at Laurel, 6 furlongs. I guess the mile distance, she's won twice at a mile. Overall, I'm hoping that in general she's met better horses down there, but you have to wonder a little bit at her last race. She was bad.
Without her last race, she would be
Favorite.
a horse that I would be ready to make a good size bet on today. But I don't know what happened last time. Yeah. I have no idea what happened last time.
I took her as the alternative too. Yeah. I just wanted to get away from that race, and I don't like Daria's Angel.
I put her second, but
she's not impossible.
No,
I didn't want. I had to decide somebody I didn't want. I don't want her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you, I'm looking for the new face coming.
Just one of the new face coming, kind of coming back to the circuit. Like you said, she's won 2 races. She has one of the mile wins are on her card. The other,
but the other mile race on the card is a 73 buyer, which would probably win this race.
Behind Grand Cru Class A and Mrs. Danvers, 2 stakes winners. So I know she got beat a long way.
Is it Class A or Class? There's no accent. Is it accent aigu or accent grave? Anthony.
Anyway.
Well, you're the one that pronounced it Class A, not me.
I believe it's Class A.
Do you know if it's
I want to hear. I'm trying to think of how Johnny I and Dave Rodman called it, and I want to say it's Class A.
Let's hear it. Johnny I already, the Bourbonic and Bourbon. I mean, I think we may want to check with Dave Rodman.
I want to say they both went Class A. That's, but I don't know. I'm not 100% certain of this.
What do you do with those pronunciations if they don't have the accents? Because we don't use the accent. Do we?
I go to Google.
Can you use an accent?
No.
Oh.
Cannot use an accent. The only.
Why not? Why not?
All you can use is a period. I don't know why you can't. I would like it. I mean, it would help the cause tremendously.
You can name a horse gas station sushi, but you can't use the accent. Okay.
There's
race
worse than
number
that
6. Too. I don't know if there's worse than that. I think that takes cake. Race number 6. We're going to start by showing Princess Corey running second over Miss Mimi. And a non-performance by Serenic. I'm a little worried about Serenic's last race. I know it was a mighty sealed track, but she's run well in wet tracks before, and she was brutal in here.
She was terrible.
I think she can bounce back, but she was awful.
This was one of my famous 2-horse races where I think they both finished out of the try. She was just bad last time, man. I want Princess Corey because I think she's just got to. I'm hoping she just goes right to the top and keeps going in the end. She's supposed to be loose on these horses, isn't she? Normally, I wouldn't.
Well, doesn't Eric have to go with Serenic on the inside? She's probably going to be loose. You're probably right. You're probably right.
I just think
not exactly a week that being loose speed has been any kind of help.
No, I understand that, but she's. And normally, I wouldn't give up the experience. And more importantly, the experience in the win column. I mean, Miss Mimi in this starter, Princess Corey's won once. Miss Mimi has more wins than Princess Corey has starts. Ordinarily, I would be with you with Miss Mimi. I just think she has a decided advantage on the front end in here, so I took the speed.
I like Miss Mimi here.
Okay.
I thought she ran well enough to win this race 2 back. And maybe, second off a layoff, she just didn't run a race. She's coming back in 24 days. And
she had such a good setup 2 back, Andy. She had a nice setup.
But she ran a fast race doing it, and I just think it's an indication that she has that good form somewhere. I think one of the reasons winter is such a struggle, at least for me, I can't speak for others. I hope others are doing very well. I mean, I actually haven't done that badly this winter, but having a decent month. A lot of my wins have been out of town. The form doesn't hold from race to race as much. And because you're running a lot of lower level races, and this time of the year, they may not be able, sometimes can't train as much as they'd like to train. There's situations that make it difficult, and there's a lot of randomness to that.
And in a lot of instances,
a lot of randomness.
Not that it's in this case, but in a lot of instances, just to add to the entire conversation, these horses are running back quickly.
Yeah, right. No, I agree.
So,
yeah. Now, they all are. So
that's going to add to randomness because
some will run fine and some will. Absolutely, 100%.
Like that 1-0 Jones entry on Saturday, doubling or nothing. They've each run 4 times in 27 calendar days.
I want to show Cadota Pay's last race and show you the star of the race as well as the final quarter. She did stumble, and it was a legit stumble, but it was a stumble to her knees. She's the number 3 horse. And I'll tell you what's interesting about her, and with Louis Cardenas, you see her there, she recovers very, very, you see right there, that's the inflection point where a lot of horses will drop back that 3 lengths.
Just keep going backwards.
And she moved forward into there, and she got herself back in the race because you look at where her running style, she wasn't that far behind where she was. I'll tell you one thing, and I'm not discounting the stumble because she had legitimate trouble. But she worked out a beautiful trip. And Louis Cardenas, who, as you know, I'm a big fan of, I thought he gave her a sensational ride of that. He never lost his cool. I mean, for a guy, and this is something we noticed with Louis, when he first started riding, you don't see this in bug riders. He has always been a cool customer. He's never been a guy. It's a very tough thing to be a rider, especially when you're first starting. And he just waited in there. She splits horses. I mean, everything opened up perfectly for her, but she ran. But she got 18-1 last time out. And now she's going to come back and run as well. She runs as well. She may very well win this race, but 18-1 last time, and now you get 3-1. I don't want it. And 3-1, frankly, against a tougher field. 5-7-2.
You think she's going to be that short?
3-1 in the morning line. Yeah, I think people are going to see Stumble start an open length win, a 70 buyer, and they're going to say, I'm in. And you know what? They may be right. I'm not going to be shocked when we got her second, I got her fourth, but I'm not going to be shocked when she wins this race.
No, I'm not either. I thought she ran, yeah.
She did. She ran very well. She had a good trip after she went, but she ran.
Yep. Yep. Her biggest issue, and you're going to see a slow pace last time, but that's a function of the track. She had a better setup last time. Even though she stumbled, there was some contention on the lead.
Grace came apart a little bit.
She's not going to have that today.
She's going to have a loose speed. That was a hungry field last time.
It absolutely was. It absolutely was. Yeah.
We'll see.
They got picked Stunning Munnings. Stunning Munnings had a good trip, and she just couldn't fit. And she just came along.
These horses are better than Stunning Munnings.
Right.
With all due respect,
I don't disagree.
They are better
disagree with that.
Than the Stunning Munnings of the world. Yeah. Race number 7, and I have a good friend who has been very eager for us to do our discussion of race number 7. And we'll begin with the reality portion of the discussion of race number 7 by showing Backside of the Moon winning the Queen's County. Now, as I so eloquently stated before the last race, you weren't supposed to bet this horse back off of this perfect trip.
You did?
Gold Rail win, and the odds were wrong. And this horse was underbet in this race and overbet last time. I don't know what to make of him. I know he's running back for 62. He just claimed for 62.5, and he's won 2 races with him, so I don't have any issue with that whatsoever.
Oh, Rudy's made, listen, overall,
he's a 9-year-old.
Rudy's made plenty of money with this horse.
He's a 9-year-old, and so has Mike Rapoli.
Yep.
So, and if somebody wants to take him for 62.5, and I'm not saying it's a bad claim, and you know this is David Aragona should get the 62.5 and claim him. He loves him. Listen, he was on Backside of the Moon before anybody.
I think Rudy had him, if I'm not mistaken, for 3 starts in the end of 19. It was 2 wins, 1 in the optional for 100, 1 in the optional for 62. Yeah. So, and then
he's run amazing races.
Yeah.
What a record he's got for Rudy. I think you're right.
He's 4 for 6.
I think you're right. I think he's 4
Rudy.
for 6. I got a little love for this horse. He's not as good as his race 2 back. I just think he's better than these horses. I'm not totally comfortable with him.
He might be.
But I think he's going to beat these horses. I just think Rudy's running where he can win.
Okay.
And we'll stick with the reality portion of the conversation, and we'll move on to Empty Tomb.
Okay.
Who did beat. He did beat Backside of the Moon. He got lucky to beat him, but he beat him nonetheless. I thought he ran pretty well in this race. A tough day to close.
Tough day to close.
He made a real run, and I know the winner didn't come back and run well, but I still think he ran pretty well, and I like his position. I'll tell you something. Isn't Trevor supposed to just go to the lead with him?
So that was kind of my issue with him, right? Because the day in Saratoga when he got beat by NYC, that's what they did.
He ran great that
Manny went to the lead with him, yeah, and he just got tired.
Well, he lost to NYC. It was 2-5.
2-5. Let me ask you a question. What do you think?
Has he run since then, NYC?
Oh, I think once. I think you know what? Did he run? Did he run on the turf before?
He probably
that race?
did. I have no memory. Anyway, you were saying before I rudely interrupted.
Do we know if he wants to go to 9? I don't know.
I haven't asked him, but I think he's run fine at it. We could call him.
You didn't talk to him?
Maybe we should do a phoner with Kirk Wyckoff and ask him what he thinks.
I don't know if he wants to go to 9.
Okay.
Well, I got love for him too.
You've got a horse that wants to go 19, not 9. Okay. Now we'll get into the voodoo person of the day's broadcast. Danny California.
I know he's got to get faster in the races.
Go ahead.
Why does he have no chance?
Because he's not good enough. Because he's in bad form and he's not good enough. Other than that, he looks great.
I went through the race. I'm not certain Empty Tomb wants to go this far. Someday Jones, I know Someday Jones' best work has been out of town.
How can Danny California? I don't want to hear the nonsense. I don't like this horse. I don't like that horse. How can Danny California win this race? That's what I think people want to hear. They don't want to hear. You don't like the horse. That's fine. You still have to like this horse because I can't. I took a fine tooth comb to it, and I have no idea how any sane person could possibly like him in here. He's got 2 figures that are mildly competitive, and they're at a mile and a half and mile and 5/8.
They're going long.
His races at a mile and 1/8.
They're slow. They're slow.
They're not slow. They're snail.
They're slow.
snail-like. So why do you like them?
I want a little bit of because again, he has at least the wins going the mile and an eighth.
Well,
He
anyone
has a
can
good
win
record.
races, Anthony.
And again, this pick is more a function of me poking holes in the other horses, and me hoping that a horse that has had some success at the mile and an eighth going the 2 turns could take advantage at a big price.
This is the kind of full-service show that we are. Okay, good luck. We wish you the best.
I don't. Listen.
If you want to go off the cliff with Anthony,
Backside
don't
of the
let me stop
moon.
you.
Backside of the moon is probably going to win this race.
I don't trust him either, but we got Kirk Wyckoff is checked in. Kirk Wyckoff, of course, owns 3 Diamonds Farm. Empty Tune wants to go 9.
Okay.
So you have here Mr. Stabile. You have here Mr. Wyckoff. You choose. One of you is right. And listen, by the way, for anybody who's within 50 miles of Aqueduct, if Danny California wins his race, Anthony could be gagged and you'll hear somebody screaming. Do you realize that Johnny laughed in a call because of it the other day?
Say again. What did you say?
He laughed, the call. What about Someday Jones?
Who laughed at the
Johnny
call?
I, the man, Johnny I.
Laughed at what?
Well, you don't think Someday Jones can win this race?
Yeah, but don't you worry that he's done his best work out of town?
No. Someday Jones?
Yeah.
This race is 2 and 3 back and make him very competitive here. They're really much better than your horse. Do we have some lunch bets here?
Sure.
Okay, what are you proposing? You won the Super Bowl bet. We're down to 60.
That was easy.
That was embarrassing.
That was easy.
I actually watched about an hour of the game. I'm sort of embarrassed.
I don't know. I gotta get a little pricey.
Yeah, okay.
I gotta get a little.
You can get 3 to 2. I'll take Someday Jones over Danny California.
Okay.
And I'll bet you 3 to 2. I'll take Empty Tomb over Danny California. I'll make 2 of them.
Okay. I'll take them both.
Okay. Wow, you could win 6 lunches, or you could be at 64, or you could be at 59. It's a whole lot of different possibilities.
A lot of possibilities.
Just made that race a lot more exciting. I can tell you at home this is
The lunch, the popularity of the lunch bet is alarmingly popular.
okay. I have a trivia question for everybody.
Okay. I mean, look at all of the entertainment you're getting on Monday.
I'm going to do a poll. Who do you think runs first? Uncle Chuck or Bezos?
I think there's a chance you see Bezos in 2 weeks.
I don't think there's a chance you'll see Bezos in 2 weeks. I think there's a better chance that you'll see Halley's Comet knocking on your front door than seeing Bezos in 2 weeks. Having said that, so you're taking Bezos. You think he'll appear before Uncle Chuck. Do we know what happened to Uncle Chuck?
No, I'll take Bezos.
Who,
And I know nothing about either.
I've made some embarrassing picks in big races particularly. I mean, none will eclipse my back-to-back last place finishes with the King's Bishop and the Travers in 2011, the year Stay Thirsty won.
2011.
I had him second. I didn't want him. I finished the pick the last place finish. Raison d'Etre, who you sure bet on as well, John Mott and Bill Mott, and Cool Blue Red Hot, the race before that. Yeah, it's a good pick by me.
Angel Penna?
Yeah, he was a good horse. Now, he wasn't as good as Kayla's Posse. Uncle Moron here.
Sick guy. We'll never talk about Danny California again.
You know, that's my favorite. Those are my favorite.
I was busy fighting Hurricane Irene and getting
to-
set out of the triple. I loved Rattlesnake Bridge behind, and I got shut out. Brutal.
You love Raison d'Etre. There's
Brutal.
a person out there that doesn't believe that you didn't like the Bill Mott
I got
Judd
my
horse.
Stay Thirsty win bet in.
There's
I got my
nobody
win bet in.
nobody
I
out there
triple
believes
it.
you,
Paid
Anthony.
like
You-
1400.
Nobody believes you.
I
Race
was
number
sick to
8.
my
I bet you picked
stomach.
the 8 in race number 8. I haven't even looked. Let's see
Of course I
Anthony's pick
picked
for
the
race
8.
number 8.
Kidding?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Who are you going to
Randy
pick in
Persaud.
here?
You should get a shirt with Randy Persaud, Randy Persaud's picture on it, don't you think?
I have one in chartreuse and yellow. I have a chartreuse.
You should have the I Love Randy with an I shirt. You really should. You're like this, when I lost my mic. When he sees you in the hall.
He always says, well, Randy's a very happy person.
He is a happy guy.
Randy talks to everybody, so
I remember
it
when
doesn't
Randy
count.
rode.
Of course. Kidding?
I remember
Eddie
seeing.
Barker's go-to rider back then.
Eddie Barker was training back then?
That's how Randy worked for Eddie.
I did not know that.
Randy worked for Eddie.
Did not know.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
go ahead with Claude's back. He's missed so much fun, but he's got food for us.
That's not for us.
Oh, he would share with me.
She's cutting in half. I mean, man,
She was bad last time. She was bad. That
sucked
race
up
fell
third.
apart, and she never ran a step. And you and I both liked her a little bit last time.
It was a week ago, 8 days ago.
I've had enough. I like Persian Queen.
Okay.
Persian Queen, muddy track, going a mile against better horses. Do you realize how much of an easier spot she's in than she's been in recently? I'm all about Persian Queen in this race. It's all Persian Queen with a little bit of why is she so lucky.
2s and 8s, right? I mean,
Dirty Bird's not impossible. They look like the 3.
Yeah. I'm probably just going 2 and 8, to be honest. If I'm being honest with you.
When wouldn't you be honest? You're a very honest man.
If Dirty Bird wins, I probably lose. But I'm just going to go 2 and 8. I hope Danny California gets home.
I hope I get home and there's a big box full of cash sitting by my front door. Neither of those are going to happen, but there's no reason you can't have hope. Why not dream? And you can dream about being part of the Naira Bets team. Just head over to NairaBets.com. It's more than a dream. It's a reality. Make it a reality. Use that promo code MATCH200, and we will match you $200 of your initial deposit. Play through Naira Bets. Keep the money in the game in all seriousness. Support racing in New York. Keep the money in the game. Special Monday card. This is a surprise Monday card.
We got time for one more quick Marshall Cassidy story?
Absolutely. As long as it involves you cashing a bet. If it involves you cashing a bet, you can't tell it.
No, it involves me not cashing a bet.
Never heard one of those stories before.
This is a great one. Sent my dad here. I was in junior high school. Just started junior high school. We had a phone booth right outside the cafeteria. And I used to sneak in to call stretch call, the old 976-6969. And Marshall Cassidy used to, he would give you the winner, remote control, has the lead. Microphone would go off. And I start screaming into the phone one day, who's second? Who's second? And here comes Ray Stoltz, who was the assistant dean. Mr. Stabile, what are you doing? I'm trying to find out who was second in the 7th race.
That's great.
I lost my phone privilege. No more phone calls at Robert H. Goddard Junior High School 202 right here in Ozone Park.
I used to bet with a fairly infamous bookmaker in Saratoga. I'm sure some people know about that are watching. He's passed away, as a matter of fact, when I was a kid. And once he called, I used the phone to call at school, and then he realized we can't bet over the payphone at school. And you know what horse I bet on? Pete Moss, when he broke his maiden first time out for David Whiteley, paid $18. Fact.
Wow.
Look it up.
Pete, Murray Garron wound up with him, right?
Yeah, but he was David Whiteley when he first started. I can still remember the phone outside the cafeteria, the old Saratoga High. It's probably gone by now.
Was that the whole Shifty Chic thing? No.
No, that was...
Pete Moss was early.
That was 70... Let's see, I was in Saratoga High, so it was like 77, 78, somewhere in there, probably. All right. Been fun. It's been it's been special. And Johnny I will be up shortly with the reprise scratch and changes, and I will be hanging out with you during the day, going through each and every race, about 15 minutes to post time. Everybody enjoy the special Monday card here at the Big A.